Good evening. Welcome to another night on 20 Minutes Live, where we have conversation around how to develop our space. That the interest of our space would be the conversation here. The interest, the need to have our space develop would be the conversation here. So this night we would continue the conversation we already started on developing our space, independence. What does it mean to say that we are independent or that we have independence? We've looked at what it means. We've concluded that it's not a birthday, and it's either not also a graduation day. So independence does not mean a birthday, and it's not graduation day. So independence really means a day acknowledging when you became free. And so for us to really understand when we became free, we should talk about what led to that, and what would lead to independence will be slavery and colonization. That we were enslaved within our space. That's what colonization would mean, being enslaved within your space. That's not when slavery itself will start, but that is when slavery within our lands. And when I mean our lands, I mean most importantly Africans would start. And for us to really begin to appreciate what independence would mean, we should analyze what was lost, right? And then it is based on what was lost and what we have regained that should determine what effort would be needed to put into developing our space. What more efforts, and how should we go about it? That's what will give us focus, whether we should be celebrating independence in the first place or not, right? So we've discussed the fact that since what colonization would mean is that being enslaved within our space, therefore it means that the invaders would have to capture our lands, and that was really what they did strictly. And what would it mean? They captured our lands, they captured us. And what would that mean? That would translate into us losing our education. We lost our education. We lost the capacity to teach ourselves. Contrary to many unschooled opinion would think that Western education gave African chance to education. That's contrary to, that is not true. That's not true. We always have education within our space. We've had it, right? And it's not today. Education and African space have been working pari passu, right? So back to the conversation. We lost the economy and productivity. That was what we discussed yesterday, that we lost our capacity to produce, to produce. And the conversation, unfortunately, of the fact that we have lost capacity to produce still exists, even 63 years after we claim we gain independence. So that has not been retaken. So that's the part of the things that are still missing within our space, And today we'll look at another critical issue within our space, that what colonization would mean and what slavery would mean in our space as Africans, what it would take out of our land as Nigerians, is that it would rob us of our culture and our religion. I'm almost tempted not to call it religion. We discussed it as the conversation progressed, because what was existing within the African space was not religion, wasn't religion. Spirituality best fit into it. It wasn't religion in the sense that it was not a large scale or commercialized institution. It wasn't like, I'm almost tempted to sing a song. Wagba, 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 Jesus, Ayere, Akiri, Shore. So it was not being kiri everywhere, So it was not, it was a personal journey, right? Just like name, I can't say because my name is Sean that every other person should be bearing name. It's personal. It's personal. And for some persons who are very, very, very deep, they will tell you that their name has something to do with them that is unique to them, is unique to the things that is expected of them in life. So if it's not the same thing that is expected of another person, why would you start a crusade to ensure that the other person forcefully take such beliefs? That's where it's faulty. So within the African space, within the Nigerian space, before colonization and before slavery, because some persons might argue and say, some religion were already in our land before colonization, but were they not introduced by slavery itself, and or were the entrenchment of such beliefs, or the forceful part of such beliefs, having a political influence within our space, what caused it, right? So we lost our culture. But the most frightening part, the most disturbing part is that we have lost our culture. Nigeria have lost their culture. We've lost our culture. I was with some comrades yesterday and we were discussing about the role of culture towards development. And one of the ways that it dawned on me that culture is that culture is like the core values, right? Culture is like core values. As an individual, you are supposed to have values. You are supposed to have you are supposed to have some set of rules guiding you, helping you to shape yourself to who you want to become. If you don't have it, it's because we lost our culture. We lost it. We had some set of core values. One of the very close to that core values, I've made this example before in the movie Game of Thrones. And the guy will say that he's a son of Lannister, that a Lannister doesn't owe debt, that they always pay their debt, and that is core value. And let me break this to you in case you don't know. Every family, every society within the African space had their core values. They had the things they were personally convinced of, that this is how to live life. This is how to go about life. And it's different from what we have right now. Trust me, it's different from what we have right now. One of the so strong core values that Africa would have is that Africa have a very strong ties to the land. And you would hear it often that they would say that being away cannot be compared to being at home, that home is always home. That the interest of home should supersede the interest of being away. And that will bring some level of consciousness. I wish we still have such level of consciousness within our space. I wish our culture, the so acclaimed culture we would embrace now, still in particular, it would entrench this level of culture of there is no place like home. Because what that would mean is that we will begin to use all the resources. We will begin to galvanize all the resources to develop home. We will begin to use all our resources to develop home. That in Yoruba would say that that you don't do things for external parties. You do things based on the internal view and internal convictions that you have. You know, that you are not about impressing people. I wish we still have this kind of culture. The culture of, that's why, because we lost the culture, that's why we can no longer trust the internet. Because people will tell you that people are living fake life. Not the culture that I read about. Not the true culture of Africans. The Africans, before colonization and before slavery, were true to themselves. They were true to themselves. We had a culture that promotes truth. We had a culture that promotes truth, that rewards truth within our space. We do not have this sentimental and emotional blinded culture that we have right now. That even when it is obvious that this thing is no longer saying truth, we will be blinded by whatever we would call it, beliefs, religion, opinion. We will be blinded by all the stupid things, and most importantly, by money. You know, a comrade was saying that she saw someone on a space yesterday, and everybody was hailing her. Despite the things that she has been committed, she has been alleged of, you know, we would commend, we would appreciate criminals once we see them. We have developed a culture that is toothless. And I was telling the comrade that is not, those are bourgeoisie Africans, you know, that we now have the so-called black people, but with white content, with enslavers content. They look like us, but these guys have been enslaved. But that is what colonization would do. In the process of colonization, we will not even call them embraced. This is not embrace. This is not us embracing a belief. It's different. This is not us interacting with beliefs. We have been interacting with some beliefs, right? We've been interacting with some other persons outside our space before now. But this is us being forced and being compelled to do a particular belief. And let me give you an instance. I've said this earlier on, that one of the things that is very close to what we are discussing, understanding independence, is to study and to analyze how Nigerians treat their mates, especially in that Lagos. How mates are being treated. How people treat their mates or their so-called workers. You need to understand it. You know, that if a mate has a particular belief, let's say a mate is, she is a Christian, when she was at our own space. When the mate starts working within a Christian family, what do you think would happen? You think we have such a tolerant belief system that would allow the mates to go to mosque? You think so? Rarely will you find such family where they would still allow the mates to go to mosque. And even if they allow the mates to go to mosque, obviously the mates will be a church attendant in the next Sunday and the next midweek service. That's the same way. And if you cross the equation to the other round, that's the same way. That's the same way. So you can't expect a maid to still keep up with her beliefs, even as a maid. But some people will say, oh, but we gain independence. After how many years? You think if we may continue that practice for the number of years we were in colonized, you think a maid would not have forgotten how to even observe whatever religious belief that she believed before working there? Oh. So it's the exact thing that happened to us. We lost our culture. We lost our beliefs. We lost it. No, we didn't lose it. Sorry. It was taken from us. We were compelled and we were forced to adopt this kind of lifestyle that we have right now. So the lifestyle, one of the cultures we lost is that we lost what is called beauty. We've lost the culture of beauty. You know, Africans actually believe in beauty, but we believe in simplicity. Not the way we are tying Okwero and Okwaja up around thinking that is wealth. That kind of lifestyle, let me translate that before I move on. Not the way we are. We believed in beauty, but we believe in simplicity, that beauty must be simple. We also believe in simplicity, in modesty. That's what it means, simplicity. Not the kind of belief that before we can showcase beauty, now we have to tie something that looks like what is being used to tie a ram, or a chain that is being used to tie dogs on our neck. That kind of beliefs, let me tell you where it came from. Let me tell you where the excessive love of chains came from for Africans, especially those ones who love those big ones. Let me tell you where it came from. It came from slavery. It came from slavery. Africans got used to chains. It came from slavery. Those are not our culture. We lost our culture. We lost our culture. We lost our beliefs. We lost our capacity to contact the Supreme Being by ourselves and on ourselves. I was telling comrades yesterday also that I've been in tech for over 10 years, maybe over 15 years now. I've been in the tech space. And one of the bases of programming language, for anyone who understands tech, would know that is in binary, that the lowest of the machines were built to support binary languages. That's the basis of any programming language you could see. You know, it's even so Facebook, any other softwares that you could see, is even higher. Not higher in the sense that is not the basis, but it's like if you know the basis, then this will not be as difficult as anything. So the basis itself is binary, but the Ifa logic or the study of Ifa itself speaks in that programming language. I was telling them how scientific Ifa could be, and I wish that I personally I've been brought up as an Ifa student, because I won't need to learn programming language or be dragging my brain about getting programming concepts. Because I believe that Africans should not even be learning programming language, because Ifa should be in us. But we lost this capacity to be scientific. Our ancestors were scientific, but we've lost it. Because our beliefs had so much to do with our output in life. We lost our culture. We lost our belief system. We lost our religion. So that's why I'm tempted to say religion. We lost our belief systems. Because beliefs, we believe, is personal, is spiritual. Before now, In the African space, we do not fight on the basis of religion. Check the things that is most dividing us as a space, even in Nigeria. At the front of it, you will see religion. The most divisive tool that the oppressor has used on our space is religion. We now fight for religion. We don't fight for religion. This is not the space where people kill because of Atala family and the Ogun family wants to fight. No. The Eleguns have their roles. The Eshu's family, they have their roles. Everyone was playing their roles. They fight quite all right, but not for the sake of religion. Not for come and accept it. If you accept it, you will die. If you do not accept it, you will die. No, that's not us. That is not the concept of religion within our space. So we lost our tradition, we lost our culture, we lost our religion, we lost our beliefs. And that's why we become a toothless society. That oppression will go unchallenged within our space. That oppression will go without a revolt within our space. We've become so toothless. And check those things that have enabled us to be toothless is the infiltration of our culture, believing that we can now be more white than the Westerners. That is the concept driving my environment. People now believe that they can go and claim another land. There is no culture that says that Ilela Bosimioko. They have erased that from their definition and dictionary. That CBT, Udabile, that Ajo, the late San Sultan even sang it. Ajo Ledabile, no matter where you go, make you no forget area, oh, motherland, yo. So how did we get here? Colonization did this to us. So the next time we want to celebrate independence, or we remember the word called independence, we should ask ourselves, Oga Alpha, you took culture and our beliefs. How are we doing in that sector? Have we collected it back? Have we regained it? So from tomorrow, we will talk about some of the things that we've regained. I believe that we've regained some things. It's just that the things that we have regained will be child's play compared to the things that we are yet to regain. And it's possible. And development would demand that we regain this. Freedom itself would not make any meaning. Freedom, I repeat again, would not make any meaning if freedom is not used as a tool. I repeat, freedom is not a destination, especially the kind of freedom Africans got from their slave masters and the ones we got as a nation from our colonial masters. Will not be effective, will not be anything meaningful. And we are seeing the result that we had freedom. People canvassed for freedom. Now, people would leave the place where their ancestors canvassed for freedom, to have freedom, to go back to the place where, to those countries where enslaved us. And they will be glad to do that. Because freedom itself does not make any sense. Freedom itself has no meaning. Freedom has no value until freedom is being converted to a tool. Tool to do what? To regain everything that is lost, or to rebuild everything that you want. Either to regain or to rebuild. That is when freedom will start making sense. I hope this 20 minutes live would help you to begin to ask yourself, what can you regain from what was lost? From the things that were lost, or from the things that were taken. Sorry, I kept saying lost. Sorry. From the things that was taken from your ancestor. and to regain it. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity, and uphold our honor and glory, so help me, my ancestor. See you again tomorrow night.